Pull up to the gates in 1600 on the map. Supposed to be the people's house, I make it like a trap. Marble floors and chandeliers, I'm ballin' to the wall. Power to the people, yeah, I gotta make that call. Trapping for the team, red and white and blue, that's me. Voices on the block, I'm breaking through, I got the keys. I'm in the lobby, yeah, I'm moving like an OG. Posted in the Oval Office in the executive suite. Signing for the fam, yeah, you know my game is strong. Freedom is the banner and I got my chains on. Secret Service watching snipers sitting on the roof. Truth is hitting hard, I bury you in the booth. Founding father's vision, now I'm flexing with this cash. Big pharma, big tech, turn these dreams to bags. I'm the voice of the hood, trying to come and storm the gates. Balance in my hands, but the system's overweight. They painted white, yeah, but the stains running deep. Promise they selling it, but you know it ain't coming cheap. Legends walk these rooms, Lincoln, MLK, now it's photo ops. Power plays all day, I'm trapping for the vote. Big Zeus, it's the people's house. Big Zeus, powers in the air. Big Zeus, we knocking on the door. Big Zeus, we wanna hear your soul. Big Zeus, who you think they asking for? They asking for that smoke. People want them players, yeah, y'all think this is a joke. Take it back and write the code. 1600 got your soul. Put my portrait on the wall, they staring at me like I'm cold. Greatest story ever told. I will never ever fall. Trapping out the West Wing, doing deals all in the dark. Make your dreams come true. All I need is a spark. Red phone ringing, but you don't know who is on my line. Got the Constitution speaking, yeah, you know I'm so divine. No stains on my kick and the rally outside, and the gates is locked. This power never divides. Spitting for the block, head busters make them want to fight. 1600, do it all day, all night. People house, it's a trap. Got the power, get it back. Money talk loud, time to clap. Fight for the keys, that's a fact. It's a rap, I'ma bring it back. It's the people's house.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
It's the people's house. Big Zeus.
Yes. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this show started. You know exactly what we came here to do, and we don't got much time to do it. All right. Welcome.
I feel like I'm stuck in a cycle. It's like I'm stuck in time. It's like a curse, and I can't escape it. It's like deja vu. It's me, Zeus. Deja vu when I'm running up these racks. I'm like the Terminator screaming, I'll be back. Deja vu when I'm first class. It's like every week I gotta take out the trash. I'm on top of my game, ahead of the class. You can tell that I made it, look at my grass. Cars in the garage with tanks full of gas.
How are you all doing this morning?
I won't finish last. Sitting in my living room screaming how we made it. This is how it's supposed to happen when you're rich and famous. The algorithm turned me to a maniac. I guess we going viral cause my zodiac. I got all these numbers on my spreadsheet.
Benjamin Franklin is my bestie.
And if they is my ex, that mean they left me. They don't get replies if they text me. I say it with my chest cause I mean it. Got a lot of confidence and I'm conceited. Call me the master with a new whip. I'ma take off in a spaceship.
I'll tell you what, I've gone into Zeus's life.
Zeus hater right here.
Yes. Shit was radical.
Keep it clean.
It was horrible. I'm like, Zeus has gone way off the rails.
It's like deja vu. It's like deja vu.
Every time.
It's like deja vu. It's like deja vu.
All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Happy Monday. Once again, we are back in the Thunderdome. I'm your host. I'm your pilot, and you know exactly why we are all here. But before we get started, let me just go ahead and say, R.I.P. To the Pope. We know what J.D. Vance did to you, or what some say. I don't have any proof, but R.I.P. to the Pope. And I hope you all also had a wonderful Easter. All right. Many of you know exactly why we are gathered here this Monday morning, April 21st, 2025. That's the year of our Lord, right? We are once again here to push back and stop Donald J. Trump and his cult of followers in their tracks and not let them get away with any more crimes as far as we're concerned. So before we get into that, though, let's take care of some housekeeping items. For those of you who do not know who I am, I go by the name Zeus, Big Zeus now that I think about it, or as some like to say, Triple H. And why do they call me Triple H, ladies and gentlemen? Well, it's quite simple. The first H as well, because I'm honest. I'm the most honest person on social media. All right. The second H is because I'm humble. There's nobody more humble than me. Listen, if I get it wrong, I'll be the first to apologize. All right. And the last and the final H, ladies and gentlemen, is because you've guessed it. I am and will always remain the most handsome. Many of you know exactly why we are here. We have to hold these folks on the right. I used to say that these were my friends on the right, but what's going on in this country, I can't use that word, but we got to hold these people accountable for their dirty, disgusting, filthy deeds as well as their crimes. And believe you me, ladies and gentlemen, isn't it safe to say that it seems like the folks on the right, they seem to have hit the jackpot when it comes to committing crimes, all right? And so I got to say this, because you see the person that I have in my background, and we're going to really have to dive into this a little bit this morning before I go to the box and start checking in with each and every single one of you. But what we got to do is make sure they understand that we're not going to surrender this great country of ours to their tyranny, all right? And so let me check the audience right now. W. Little Hawk. Are there any Trump supporters out there right now? Anybody still supporting Donald Trump in light of all the events that have taken place so far? I mean, are we still within the first 100 days? Anyone still supporting Donald Trump? Anyone, please identify yourself. Do I have any Trump supporters out there? I just want to know, because sometimes I got to double check and make sure I have the temperature sitting just right. W's in the chat for Tiffany for the people. And Tara, I see you. I see you. Morning, brother. I never supported him. Any Trump supporters out there, just go ahead and identify yourself, all right? Because what I want to do is make sure I give you a bit of a heads up. Okay, so they're just going to pretend like they're not here when they're here. You know, these people, they screen record me. They talk about me all night long on TikTok, so I know they're here, but they're ashamed, and rightfully so. So listen up. If you're a Trump supporter still, and you do not want Big Zeus to hurt your feelings, and you do not want to experience this avalanche of truth this morning that'll ruin your breakfast, lunch, dinner, and everything in between, do us all a huge favor. Leave this live and go hang out with these fake TikTok hosts that like to stitch my videos and hide because they know I'm looking for them, right? Because they'll lie to you. Over here, I won't lie to you at all. I'll get out here and I'll give you what you need and then send you on your way, all right? And if you don't want to experience that, get on out of here, all right? But get this, you don't got to take my word for it. Listen to your leader.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
That's the Thunderdome striking, and then the doors have officially closed. So you're here at your own risk, and I don't want to. I want to make sure I say this to Trump supporters. I don't allow y'all to be victims around me. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. Because after Friday's show, by the way, I pick up where I left off on Friday. After Friday's show, you got to go back and rewatch it, ladies and gentlemen. I realized something that I've already known, but it's another reminder. You guys are some sick individuals, all right? You've gotten this nation right now. Look at the Statue of Liberty. She's crying right now. And it's because of you, right? And everything that you tried to pin on the Democrats has literally came full circle. And it's sitting squarely on your laps. And you are sitting here pretending as though it's not there. All right? And the biggest elephant and the biggest disgrace that's going on right now in this country is this knucklehead. They call him, what do they call him? This DUI hire. What do they call him? Pete Hegseth. That's what they call him, right? Whiskey leaks. This is the most incompetent individual right now. And you all sit up here and cry about what? You know what they're crying about? let's go ahead and take folks down memory lane, all right? Because, see, I remember it, you remember it, but remember this, ladies and gentlemen.
But I'm going to say it, and I hate to say it, but if I win, I am going to instruct my Attorney General to get a special prosecutor
Do you remember this?
to look into your situation, because there has never
He's
been
talking
so
about
many
Hillary
lies,
Clinton's emails.
so much deception. There has never
Remember
been
this?
anything like it, and we're going to have a special prosecutor.
Remember?
When I speak, I go out and speak. The people of this country are furious. In my opinion, the people that have been long-term workers at the FBI are furious. There has never been anything like this, where emails, and you get a subpoena.
Emails.
You get a subpoena, and after getting the subpoena, you delete 33,000 emails. And then you acid wash them, or bleach them, as you would say, a very expensive process. So we're going to...
Hear him. What's all that, Donald? What's all that? But it's so incredible to me. This is during the 2016 campaign. Donald Trump knew exactly what Hillary Clinton did with her email. He had all the details. But when it comes to Pete Hegseth, he's as quiet as a church mouse, and so are all of you who support Donald Trump. Oh, you remember you put the Democrats through a number about Hillary Clinton's emails.
Special prosecutor, and we're going to look into it, because you know what? People have been, their lives have been destroyed for doing 1/5 of what you've done. And it's a disgrace. And honestly, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Secretary Clinton, I want to follow up on that. I'm going to let you talk about email.
Because everything he just said is absolutely false, but I'm not surprised. In the first
Get him,
debate,
Hillary.
And we
in the
really,
first
the
debate,
audience needs to
I
calm
told
down.
people that it would be impossible to be fact-checking Donald all the time. I'd never get to talk
Donald.
about anything I want to do and how we're going to really make lives better for people. So, once again, go to HillaryClinton.com. We have literally Trump. You can fact check him in real time. Last time at the first debate, we had millions of people fact-checking, so I expect we'll have millions more fact-checking because, you know, it's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
That was a mistake, and I take responsibility for using a personal email
Accountability.
account. Obviously, if I were to do it over again, I would not. I'm not making any excuses.
Thank you, Hillary.
It was a mistake, and I am very sorry about that. But I think it's also important to point out where there are some misleading accusations
Hillary.
from critics and others. After a year-long investigation, there is no evidence that anyone hacked
Thank you.
the server I was using.
Go ahead.
And there is no evidence that anyone can point to at all, anyone who says otherwise has no basis, that any classified material ended up in the wrong hands.
But for you to say
Here he goes.
that there was nothing wrong with you deleting 39,000 emails, again, you should be ashamed of yourself. What you did, and this is after getting a subpoena.
It's just not true, and so please
You
go
didn't delete
to
them?
Allow her to respond, please.
personal emails, not
Oh,
official.
33,000?
Well, we turned over 35,000.
So cooperate
Oh, yeah.
with them.
What about the other 15,000?
Please allow her to respond. She didn't talk while you talked.
Yes, that's true. I didn't. And
you
I
have
didn't
nothing
in
to
the
say.
first debate, and I'm going to try not to in this debate because I'd like to get to the questions that the people have brought here tonight to talk to us about.
And get off this question.
Okay, Donald, I know you're into big diversion tonight, anything to avoid talking about your campaign and the way it's exploding and the way Republicans are leaving you. But
Let's
let's
see
at least
what happens
focus
in-
Allow her to
on some
respond.
of
Let's see what
the issues
happens.
that people care about tonight.
So that's Donald Trump just doing a incredible number on Hillary Clinton because of her emails. And this is what MAGA hung their hat on. So what this showed all of us was obviously MAGA takes matters of national security very, very seriously, right? Now let's fast forward to how we got into Signalgate, all right? And so in order to understand how we got into Signalgate, you have to acknowledge that MAGA always portrays themselves as a victim, right? So Pete Hegseth is a victim of guess who? Who is Pete Hegseth a victim of? All right, you twisted my arm. I'll tell you. Seems that President Biden harmed Pete Hegseth. All right, and now Pete Hegseth and Trump, they're aligned in getting retribution. All right, so let's start out with how Joe Biden harmed Pete Hegseth. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is getting on the record. All right.
Extremist because of a tattoo by my National Guard unit in Washington, D.C. And my orders were revoked to guard the Biden inauguration. Jerusalem cross tattoo, which is just a Christian symbol.
Is that the
This is the one.
Is that the tattoo?
Yep, right here. This one is what got me disinvited. I've never had orders revoked before.
So he's saying that he was supposed to guard the the Biden during his inauguration, but his Jerusalem tattoos, all right, it got him kicked out of the assignment, and ever since then, Hegseth, he's just not been the same. Do you all feel sorry for Pete? All right, so he's crying about this. All right,
it's a standard deal. You remember after January 6th, everyone was in Washington, D.C. Like Nancy Pelosi had the parking garages full of National Guardsmen. My commander called me a day before, tepidly, and was like, "Major, you can just stand down. We don't need it. We're good." I'm like, "What do you mean? Everybody's there." He's like, No, he couldn't tell me. When I was writing the book, I reached out to somebody in the unit who could confirm with 99.9% certainty because he was in the meetings and on the emails. Nope, someone inside the DC Guard trolled your social media, found a tattoo, used it as an excuse to call you a white nationalist, an extremist, and you were specifically by name orders revoked to guard the inauguration because you were considered a potential threat.
How is that? It's a cross.
so you all know this is the irony, right? This same tactic that Pete said he's a victim of, aren't they doing that to the immigrants today? We'll get into that in just a second. So Pete Hegseth has a bone to pick now with the United States of America because of this, all right? So you all remember during his Senate confirmation hearing, he was once again questioned by Senator Kramer about this Jerusalem cross, and we're going to get this on the record, all right?
You mentioned that you were not able to serve with your National Guard unit in the protection of the inauguration of Joe Biden because of a tattoo, a Christian tattoo. Can you elaborate just a little bit on what is this very offensive, extremist, racist tattoo that you have?
It's a tattoo I have right here, Senator. It's called the Jerusalem Cross. It's a historic Christian symbol. In fact, interestingly, recently I attended briefly the memorial ceremony of former President Jimmy Carter on the floor of our National Cathedral. On the front page of his program was the very same Jerusalem Cross. It is a Christian religious symbol. And when the events happened before preceding the Biden inauguration, I was a part of the mobilization to defend that inauguration as someone who'd been a proud supporter of Donald Trump, but also a member of the military. Had orders to come to Washington, D.C. to guard that inauguration. And at the last minute, those orders were revoked. I've never had orders revoked before. I've been on orders to a lot of places to do a lot of difficult and dangerous things. They were revoked and I was not told why.
Oh, so this is the beginning of Pete Hegseth's career in terms of him being the Secretary of Defense. All right, ladies and gentlemen. And so now that you see how tough Donald Trump is on Hillary Clinton's emails, right? And then you understand how Donald Trump felt sorry for Pete Hegseth because guess what? Biden just did a number to him. Now you understand how we all got to this incredible moment, ladies and gentlemen, in which the first signal leak took place. All right, let's get this on the record. All right, so this is the first time we all heard about Pete Hegseth and his way of protecting classified information. All right.
Over that sensitive Signal group chat reaching a new stage as the journalist who was inadvertently added alongside top Trump officials released what he says are all of the messages exchanged, including a series from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth detailing timing and weapons in the hours before U.S. airstrikes on Iranian-backed Houthi forces in Yemen were set to begin. From the time of the first fighter jet launch to when the first bombs would drop. The screenshots do not include information on specific targets.
There's no units, no locations, no routes, no flight paths, no sources, no methods, no classified information.
Assertions like that from multiple high-ranking officials that the messages contain nothing classified are why Atlantic editor Jeffrey Goldberg says he chose to release them. President Trump less conclusive on what could be classified.
You'll have to ask the various people involved. I really don't know.
Pointing to the mission's success and distancing himself from the fallout.
I think it's a witch hunt. I wasn't involved.
This open portion of the
For a second day on Capitol Hill, Democrats, this time in the House, grilling CIA Director John Ratcliffe and Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, who were both on the chat.
So this is the first time it was crystal clear that Pete Hegseth was a person that really shouldn't have access to our national secrets because he likes to get loaded and then starts doing that thing, you know what they call it, drunk texting. Is that what you guys call it? But, you know, he likes to do that kind of stuff. He likes to get himself, he likes to brag and make himself seem like he's a very, very strong man, and he's also getting revenge on the Democrat. And so he says, you know what, the hell with this classified information. So this was the first incident. And did we see the Trump supporters insisting that Donald Trump actually get his attorney general? Remember when he said he was going to get an attorney general, and this attorney general was going to go after Hillary Clinton? You remember that? You remember that? I just played it. Let's see what Donald Trump's attorney general, Pam Bondi, let's see what she does when she finds out about Signalgate, the first incident. Let's see what she does.
Take a look at what Attorney General Pam Bondi had to say on this yesterday.
In terms of the Signals chat controversy that's going on, is DOJ involved at this point? If so, why? If not, why not?
Well, first, it was sensitive information, not classified, and inadvertently released. And what we should be talking about is it was a very successful mission. Our world is now safer because of that mission. We're not going to comment any further on that. If you want to talk about classified information, talk about what was at Hillary Clinton's home that she was trying to bleach a bit. Talk about the classified documents in Joe Biden's garage that Hunter Biden had access to. This was not classified information, and we are very pleased with the results of that operation and that the entire world is safer because of it.
So seems like Donald Trump's tough stance in terms of going after people for leaking classified information clearly has fallen flat on its face. They're so, it was a successful mission. Really? Well, think about all the civilians that lost their life. Are you sure it was successful? Secondly, Pam, let's just be honest. You're not going to convince millions and millions of Americans that Pete Hegseth is qualified at this point, all right? You've just shown your hand that you're complicit in terms of just how much you really care about protecting this great country of ours, all right? And so we all remember that. And then, we've kind of known they were doing an investigation in the Pentagon, right? There's an inspector general doing an investigation, and we haven't heard much lately. And then over this weekend, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, what on earth is this, MAGA?
Multiple outlets reporting that Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth shared highly sensitive war plans on a second Signal group chat that included his wife, lawyer, and brother. This is just the latest controversy for the defense secretary after it was first revealed about the sharing of Houthi war plans through an unsecure app. The New York Times first reported on that second group chat, which was set up by Hegseth himself on his personal phone. Now, this new reporting follows a roller coaster week for the Pentagon after numerous staff changes and firings left Hegseth without a chief of staff, deputy chief of staff, and senior advisor. The former press secretary for Hegseth, who resigned on Friday, wrote this, that the Pentagon is in total chaos, adding that it's hard to see Pete Hegseth remain in the position for much longer.
Did you catch that, MAGA? Did you catch that? And this is coming from multiple news sources. I can do this all day.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth had a second now Signal group chat where he shared detailed plans about a military operation.
This morning, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth
CNN.
Reportedly
this is in addition to the Signal chat Hegseth used to communicate with cabinet officials about the military plans. That one was leaked after the editor of The Atlantic was accidentally added onto it.
Okay.
So in this other chat, sources told CNN that Hegseth's wife, brother, and lawyer were all included. His brother and lawyer both work for the Defense Department, but his wife does not. This news comes as some of Hegseth's former Pentagon advisors have raised some concerns about his judgment, calling it a month of total chaos at the Pentagon.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump is hiring people who are unfit to be actually in these positions. And this is just the latest example of the incompetence of the current administration, the Trump administration. Our national secrets, our security is at risk like it's never been before. I don't feel safe at all. I do not feel safe with Pete Hegseth running the Pentagon. And getting loaded late at night and deciding he's going to open up Signal. I mean, that has to be the dangerous thing in this country right now. You know, it's a dangerous it's a dangerous day when Pete Hegseth uses his personal cell phone and then you see him opening the Signal app. Once you see Pete Hegseth doing that, you know this country is in deep, deep trouble. And Donald Trump is sitting by and he doesn't even care. He's going golfing, right? He doesn't care. This doesn't bother Donald Trump. And so what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is this. Let's go ahead and warm up that lake of fire, all right? This lake of fire is going to be for, obviously, Pete Hegseth. Anyone out there still support Pete Hegseth and think he's doing an outstanding job? Look at him battling. This is somebody that's battling. He's not battling our our enemies. No, this guy's battling alcoholism, all right? This guy is battling his cell phone in the Signal app. He doesn't know when it's acceptable to do it or not do it. He's flying around the world on taxpayer money, with taxpayers' money, and he has his wife with him in there, listening to all of the stuff that our country holds sacred, the secrets. He's bragging in front of his wife. I think this is like his third wife. He doesn't give a darn about our security at all. All he cares about is getting an attaboy. All right, and he'll do anything to get it, all right, including embarrassing this great country of ours and as well as embarrassing Donald J. Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, let's warm up this lake of fire. This is for you, Pete Hegseth. You really need to get professional help, all right? Alcoholism is a terrible situation, all right? It's not an easy thing to overcome, and no position Donald Trump gives you is going to cure you, all right? And now what you've done, it's equivalent, as far as I'm concerned, to drinking and driving. Actually, it's a lot worse. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and send Pete Hegseth where he belongs, straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
Yeah, I know a lot of you Trump supporters are very triggered by that little history lesson that I just gave you. And so let me say it again to MAGA.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
You hear that? And I'm going to continue to stay on you Trump supporters' backside like that. What we have going on in this country, MAGA, is you all are hell-bent on destroying it, right? And all the justification that you're trying to use to say this is why we should destroy this great country of ours, it's not going to work. You can't be upset with Hillary Clinton and the way that she didn't handle the emails correctly. You can't do that and say it's a matter of national security and then turn around and prop up this DUI Pete Keg's breath, all right? You can't do that. Whiskey leaks. You can't sit back and act like we're going to sit there and go, you know what? This is just the radical left Democrats. We're not going to let you continue to attack these judges, most of whom Donald Trump appointed, right? And the ones that are saying, bring Kilmar back to the United States. And you're all trying to say those are radical left judges. Please look into it. Most of these judges are Republican judges. These are judges Donald Trump or your party appointed. And they're telling you, you need to follow the law too. And you all want to sit here and do this distraction and this deflection business, and it's not going to work. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what I want to do? We need to give AOC and Bernie Sanders a round of applause, as well as all the other Democrats out here who are helping to contribute to this phenomenon that's going on in America right now. Believe it or not, every week Donald Trump loses 1.5 5% of his support, which is around 1.5 million Americans. All right, so W in the chat for the Democrats. Donald Trump is losing support. His poll numbers are tanking. All right, this weekend on Truth Social, as all this news started to come out about whiskey leaks, he went on there and said, my poll numbers have never been so good. When you see him flooding his timeline the way that he does, that means he knows his goose is cooked. So once again, W Democrats. All right. Looking at the time, I see I still got a little bit more time to continue. All right. So let's go ahead and move into the audience. Are there any Trump supporters out there that are brave enough to get in the box and actually report on what's going on in their world right now? I want to check in with MAGA right now, because obviously, if you're still supporting Donald Trump, something's not right up here. All right. If you're still supporting Donald Trump right now, something is not right up here. He has not delivered on a thing. You get me, MAGA? Good morning, Kabira. Has Donald Trump delivered on any of his promises? Even if you want to talk about him securing the border, I can't give you points for it, because remember the publicity stunt he did at Guantanamo Bay? He ended up bringing these people back. Remember when I showed you Pam Bondi over in Virginia? We found an MS-13 gang member. 2 weeks later, we're going to withdraw our case, Your Honor, because we didn't know what we were doing when we accused that person, and he's actually okay to be here. And then you got this Kilmar Garcia situation where all of a sudden you all want to try to make it look like, oh, well, you guys, you know what, this is what MAGA is saying. Democrats, you look crazy trying to bring this guy back into the country. He's and you know what they call him? A bad guy. This is what they say. He's a bad guy. Well, what did he do? Well, we found this police report from his wife. Oh, and now if you defend that guy, Zeus, you are evil. And I have to tell Trump supporters, newsflash, and I need you to go look it up. All right, W. Chris. Donald Trump, on paper, if you were to compare Donald Trump's his record with Kilmar's record, it might shock you, MAGA. Donald Trump actually has a nastier record than Kilmar Garcia. All right, and I don't want to get into it. All right, but you could just look at it, and you could look at Donald Trump and say, could be trouble. So, MAGA, this is where you're always going to lose this conversation. You cannot vote for Donald Trump, whose track record is repulsive, disgusting, evil, and then turn around and say you have a problem with this person because you believe they are in a gang and that they've done some bad things. I'm sorry, but if you had a scale, which person, ladies and gentlemen, could do more harm to the American people? Let's just do this. Put a 1 in the chat if you think it's Donald Trump, or put a 2 if you think it's Kilmar. Which one do you think can do more harm to the American people, ladies and gentlemen? Let's just get this out of the way. 1 if you think it's Donald Trump, 2 if you think it's Kilmar Garcia. I'm just looking right now. You see this, MAGA? You see this, MAGA? And this is how this country is ran. It's ran like a democracy. An overwhelming majority of people listening to this show understand Donald Trump is actually way more dangerous. Thank you. W to the chat. If Obama, could you imagine, let's just go into an alternate reality real quick. Imagine Barack Obama leading BLM protesters to the Capitol on January 6th, all right? And then coming out and telling everyone, oh, it was a peaceful event and it was just a bunch of brothers and sisters out there showing this country some brotherly love. And he was wearing a tan suit. I promise you, Trump supporters, y'all would try to bring the electric chair straight to the White House. I know y'all. W. Zeus. Imagine Obama, who could Obama put into the Secretary of Defense position? Let's just say, I don't know. Imagine Obama putting one of the most incompetent individuals into the Secretary of Defense position, and then that knucklehead is running around here just doing all kinds of crazy things, getting loaded, sending out text messages late at night, flying his wife all over the country. And imagine this person was obviously a person of color. Do you think you Trump supporters would sit back and go, oh, well, you just got to give them a chance. That's just the left or the right trying to go after Obama. You wouldn't say that. You would insist that Obama be impeached. All right. And so this is why we're going to continue to bring this heat on you. All right. All right. Put a 1 in the chat if you are a Trump supporter, and I will bring you right up. OK. And you know what? And then before we even get started with that, I got to say this. I got to say this because the jig's up. MAGA has a new tactic out here right now, ladies and gentlemen, where they're trying to brand themselves as brilliant debaters. Have you ever seen these people? They say, oh, we dog walked so-and-so. But MAGA, I got to stop you once again and say this. If you are truly as intelligent as you are, that means you're a free-thinking individual. You always are going to lose any debate, because how could you vote for somebody like Donald Trump and also claim to be intelligent? They don't go together. If you really had all the information, facts, data, and statistics, how could you honestly bring yourself to say it makes sense to vote for Donald Trump, knowing, all right, if you were to just take the names off, if you got to do this, and if you're really honest with yourself, you have to do it this way. Take the names off of the applicants and put down their qualifications on a sheet of paper and say which of these applicants is most qualified, and give them Kamala Harris's qualifications, and then you give them Donald Trump's qualifications, including his criminal records and his lawsuits. You can do the same thing with Kamala Harris. If you do that exercise, 99, actually 100% of the time, the obvious most qualified person is Kamala Harris. It isn't about whether or not you like them. We're talking about qualifications. Which of these people could honestly get the job done? So when a Trump supporter tries to brag and say that they are intelligent, but then they turn around and vote for Kamala Harris, you know what I say? I can't even play it because TikTok is going to ban me, but it's something along the lines, you're not that bright, or you hate this country. W Zeus in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter. Kamala is obviously the most qualified person. It's just amazing to me. Yeah, I won't do it. Yeah, because they're watching me. You know that. So put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter, and I'll bring you right on up here. All right. It doesn't take that long, honestly, to get to the bottom of what's really bothering most of these Trump supporters. And 9 times out of 10. And I'll say this, I got to say this. A lot of these people who voted for Donald Trump that call themselves Christians, listen, I'm being serious. They're not Christians, but they are religious. And the number one religion most Trump supporters practice, it's truly racism. All right. OK, you could add misogyny in there, but it's truly racism. That's the religion of MAGA. All right. And so you could try to bring up, oh, well, which party was the Triple K in and all that other stuff. I'm not going back in the past with MAGA. I'm looking at what's happening today. Yeah. Imagine that. Imagine looking at what's happening today and not really trying to go back and relitigate the past. You know what side the people that are racist, you know what side they vote on. Your side. That's just how it is. And I'm not going to waste my time trying to think of it any other way. All right. Yeah. Ignorance is their religion too. Yeah. These are some of the most, ladies and gentlemen. And again, I'm a nice person. If you ask some of my associates on this app, they'll say Zeus is actually a nice person. But for me to actually have to say this the way that I'm saying it, this should make you wake up, MAGA, and realize you are on the wrong side of this situation entirely. You're not going to convince people who intentionally are trying to be good people. A lot of us, we understand we should strive to be better individuals, right? We understand no one's perfect. We're not. But once you understand a mistake has been made, we expect you to actually try to right the wrong. And what we're seeing with MAGA is this doubling, this tripling, this quadrupling down on things you know are wrong. And the rest of this country and the rest of the world, we are not having it. See, you all don't understand. This is what bothers me about Trump supporters. You ask them, do you really want to do America first? W. Rowley in the chat. think it should be America first? Yeah. All right. So what does that mean? Well, we need to make sure America's number one in manufacturing. We need to go ahead and secure our borders and all this other stuff, Zeus. Okay, great. Now put that into practice, MAGA. Do you even understand how interconnected we are with other countries? No. How do I know you don't know? Because most of you probably have never left your neighborhoods. You don't know what the hell's going on in other parts of the world. You don't. You don't know how you get the pizza delivered to you in the cardboard box. You don't know how that car you're driving is tied to China. You don't know how being on TikTok is evidence that you clearly are a puppet of China. You don't get it. When was the last time any of you Trump supporters actually left this country and went to these so-called places you claim are our enemies, all right? You never have, all right? And this is why we're going through what we're going through, where millions and millions of Americans, their 401ks have clearly disappeared. Yeah, a lot of them, you thought you were going to retire, you can't retire. All right, because guess what? Y'all voted for an incompetent person who had a track record of bankrupting businesses. And then he gets in the White House and promises, guess what? A golden age. And Doge checks for $5,000. The only people that fall for that got to be some of the most special people in the planet. All right, and this is why I tell you, Trump supporters, really, this is an exercise that I do every morning in which you all need to just sit your special behinds down and listen to this special broadcast. All right. Okay. Yeah. Let me see who's in the. Any Trump supporters want to come up here and let's see, who do we got? Big Willie. Maybe you are a Trump supporter. I don't know, but if not, then we'll hear what you got to say and move on. Willie.
No, I ain't no Trump supporter.
Oh, okay. Then you accidentally sent the request up. I'm so sorry. All right. W. Willie in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter. All right, and I'll bring you up. I like to go back and forth between, a Trump supporter and then a regular person. All right. Okay. All right. This is Missy. Hi, Missy. How are you?
I just wanted to come up and say good morning, handsome, and I hope you have a fantastic day. And I love Trump.
I know, but that, unfortunately, Missy, why do you love Trump? You can try to charm me, all right? That's fine.
No, I can't, Zeus. I can't stay. I'm at work, buddy. I just wanted to come and say hello to you, and I just wanted to tell you I hope you have a great day.
Okay, all right, Missy. Thank you. All right, and I'm gonna let you get back to work. But I do hope that the words that I'm sharing with you, I hope you're really reconsidering them. Because I could tell you try to be a good person, but you've kind of dug yourself into an alignment with a group of people, and it's kind of hard to break that, all right?
All right, I hope you have a great day, Zeus.
All righty then, all right. Thank you, Missy. Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's Missy, and she is a Trump supporter. But you know what? I'll say this about Missy. I go into her live, and I did a number on a lot of her hardcore friends. And I could see that there was a spark in her eye where the 3 H's were at work. And I got to be honest with all of you. She's I hate to say it because she seems like a nice person, but I can understand she's conflicted. How do I be friends with these people? Right. And this is where a lot of you are. How do I be friends with these people? But at the same time, what's going on over there on the left with the Democrats? That's actually more appealing. Am I right, Missy? You know that the Democrats are, we got it going on. W to the Democrats. Oh my. We got it going on over here, all right? And so you're conflicted because let's just face it, Missy. Those people you run with, these are some of the most miserable people you've ever seen and dealt with in your life. These people, Missy, come on. What kind of person walks around with Make America Great hats on and acts like that's cool? Come on, that's crazy. W. Zeus. I don't have an identity of my own, so I'm going to blend in with these other knuckleheads that don't amount to much, all right? These people that they roll with, who would make... I just can't do it, all right? But you get what I'm saying, Missy. The reason you're attracted to Big Zeus and the way that the way that I move and maneuver through all of this is because you can sense that I'm actually a better version than a lot of those people you hang out with. But I'm only a reflection of what the Democrats actually stand for. Because guess what? Believe it or not, they hold Big Zeus accountable too. W Zeus, W to the Democrats. Now, I hope you continue to listen to this special broadcast and really walk away from that party you're in, all right? Put a 1 in the chat if you are a Trump supporter, and I will bring you right on up here. I mean, you see, ladies and gentlemen, I could be nice, right? You can see that. I could be a lot nicer, but when it comes down to the truth, oh, no. I will not compromise. Put a 1 in the chat if you are a Trump supporter, and I will bring you up. All right, let's see. Someone wrote, "Where has Snuggles been?" Bamba. Snuggles is not. He's no longer Snuggles as far as I'm concerned. He's gone off the deep end, but he knows that when I'm out here doing what I'm doing, he knows that I'm talking directly to him as well. He better get it together because his soul is truly, truly on the line. All right, tell him, Tiffany, for the people. Oh, he has a 20% approval rating. Yeah. All right, let's see. Put a 1 in the chat if you are a Trump supporter, and I will bring you right on up here. Someone wrote F Snuggles. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah, okay, let's see. I'm looking for a Trump supporter to come on up here. I guess, you know what? Okay, it says no, the Democrat Party has. Oh, okay, Gregory. Yeah, whatever, Gregory. You're so proud of your party, Gregory, but you will not come in the box and say anything. Let's see. Who do we have right there? All right, come on up here, user. Come on up here. Let's see. Borisov. I guess that didn't work for you. All right. Alrighty then. Let's see. Where are the Trump supporters that are so-called proud of their dear leader? All right, where are you? This is I mean, have I completely destroyed your confidence in your dear leader? Yeah, look at that. MAGA is washed up. Let's see. Let's see. Who do we have here? Jimandin. How do you pronounce your name? Jamanding, are you there? No answers. No answers. We don't got any answers, all right? All right, let's go this route, ladies and gentlemen. W. Kabira. So I've completely destroyed MAGA's confidence this morning. Good morning, Nutty. How are you?
So on this Holy Week, I want to send condolences out to the 1.4 billion Catholics out there who a lot of them are hypocrites because the very man that they're celebrating that was unalive this morning, the very man that they're celebrating actually was a man of empathy, was a man of grace. And me being a non-Catholic, I can even say that for the Catholic Church, it's a big loss for the Catholic Church because this man endorsed love. And so I'm saying to you Catholics out there, you know, the ones that still go hardcore, 10 toes down, as they say, for Donald Trump, maybe instead of celebrating the man, maybe you should celebrate the teachings of the man.
Yeah.
Because his teachings were more in line with Jesus than you have ever been. So, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing all right, minus this weekend that involved more information about how unqualified Pete Hegseth is. I just don't understand why the right is not upset with this man. I don't understand why.
You know, Zeus, here's my fear. Now, this is me being very, very truthful here. My fear is that because there's no accountability there, that he's going to do it over and over again, and then someone's going to be severely hurt. Someone in our military, you know, because they like to get in here and they like to tout, oh, God bless America. God bless our troops. God bless, God bless, God bless.
Yeah.
So what about when he leaks to the wrong person and it has a irreversible effect?
Yeah.
Because it's going to happen. If there's no accountability, it is going to happen.
Wow. Wow.
Like I'm so confused by this, but yet they were all on. So well, I'm not anywhere near water because I'm landlocked, but I
Yeah.
know out on the West Coast, out on the West Coast, and even down in Florida, when you go to the beach, they have these flags to
Yeah.
tell you not to go in the water because for whatever reason it's just too dangerous, right?
Right.
And then they have these 5 alarm fires. So nothing's going to they had a 5 alarm fire when Hillary and the emails, which and they blamed Hillary for Benghazi. They blame Hillary for Benghazi.
Yeah.
But Hillary did what Hillary was supposed to do. She was held accountable. She was held accountable, and she testified in front of Congress, Republican Congress. Everybody remembers Trade Audi, you know. When are we going to call these people to the carpet and hold them accountable?
That's all I need. That's all we need. When is Donald Trump going
Because
to actually do his
here's the
job?
deal. You talk about being a Democrat.
Correct.
You just got done talking about being a Democrat. And it looks goofy when you do it, but the message is received. When you put your hands over your head and you say there's no strings attached, there's no puppets up there, it looks goofy as hell.
Yeah.
But the message is received. Because here's the deal. On the left, people are going to be held accountable.
Yeah.
What's the comedian's name? The senator from Minnesota who resigned over allegations that was proven to be false?
I know who you're talking about. His name
The
slips.
comedian. Yeah. Y'all know who I'm talking about. And what about the senator from New Jersey?
Franken, Al Franken.
Al Franken. Yes, thank you. What about the senator who just resigned because he was found guilty in a court of law for taking bribes? Senator from New Jersey.
Yeah, I know who he is too. His name, I don't like mentioning their names, but I remember. No, he's the one that actually I think was also trying to persuade Trump to actually pardoning him too, as well, right?
Yeah,
the gold bar, the golden bars, and the turkey.
Yes,
yeah.
Senator Mendez.
Bob Menendez. Yeah. See.
So here's
you go.
Here's the point that we're making. When it comes, because if you all go back and look at news articles, you will see Democrats calling for their resignation to get the heck out of there. Because it wasn't a good thing for not only the party, because it was beyond the party.
Yeah.
For the country. How can you represent those thousands, hundreds of thousands of people when your character is not above reproach?
That part.
So we do hold these elected officials in high regard, and their character should matter. But that's something that MAGA doesn't know about.
No,
it's character.
Character does not matter to these Trump supporters, because if it did, they would be telling Donald Trump to get rid of Pete Hegseth, right? How many more of these incidences need to occur? How many more American lives need to be placed at risk? And Pete Hegseth has all these tattoos, and yet you seem to not think he's in a gang. It makes absolutely no sense.
So here's I'll bet you a quarter, Zeus. I'll bet you a quarter that the next time this comes out, because it's going to happen again, when there's no accountability, the behavior repeats itself.
Yeah.
When it happens again, I bet you a quarter they're going to find yet another excuse. And I guarantee you.
Where did you go? Where did you go, Nutty?
No,
I think
I'm right here.
Yeah. Okay, now I can hear you.
I don't know what's going on. I said I guarantee you, the next time we hear about this signal gate that's coming out now, I guarantee you we're going to find out that he was drunk, and he sent out drunk signals. I mean, think about it. And this is not me making fun of people with addiction problem. The man has a problem.
He's an
addict. He's an addict. And
I don't know why MAGA won't call it what it is. Yet they try to say Kamala Harris was alcoholic. They try to put that on her, but we got one clearly right in our face, and you won't say a word.
Yeah, because she likes to laugh. She likes to have fun. So I don't have any more. takes with these people. And one last thing before I get out of here, because I know attacking is lurking somewhere. When did the White House become a branding marketing company? Why aren't we screaming to the top of our lungs that this is not normal? So when those children go to the White House today for the Easter egg hunt,
Lord have mercy,
you're gonna have Meta sponsoring this. You're gonna have YouTube sponsoring this. You're gonna have Amazon sponsor. When did the White House become a marketing agency? There are laws against.
Amen.
Time and time again, this man is breaking laws, and nobody's saying anything but the people that are who are on the left.
Thank you.
The right is they're going to conflate. They're going to defend it, and it's disgusting.
Evil. It's evil too, evil and disgusting, and we're not going to let these people on the right get away with it at all, Nutty.
So just in case there's a MAGA lurking and waiting for you to get up here, let me get out of here.
All right,
I appreciate you.
You're welcome. We might have to do bring you back up if there's another one that comes up here.
Because I missed Friday.
Okay,
I missed Friday, so I'm gonna be here listening.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's put a W in the chat for Nutty. No, Nuggy, cut it out. No lies detected. That was a slip up, Kabir. You know, it's early on a Monday morning. What do you expect from Big Zeus? All right, every now and then play a slip. Put a 1 in the chat if you are a Trump supporter. All right, and I'll bring you right on up here. All right, let's get to the bottom of this. Where any Trump supporters brave enough to get up here and try to defend their dear leader? All right, we don't got all morning to do this, ladies and gentlemen. We really don't. All right. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but I do got to do this. It was brought to my attention that I needed to check on Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom because he might have lost his job. Tom, are you okay?
How would I have lost my job?
Well, according to the streets, every time you come in the box, you're out walking, right? And that could be a sign that you might not actually have a house,
or that I have a dog that needs to be walked every day.
So if you did lose your job, wait.
Unlike you, see.
If you did lose your job, would you tell us? If you lost it because of Donald Trump, because you remember you came up here that one day and you were talking about funding being cut to your tenants.
No, I didn't. I said it wasn't being cut.
But you were concerned.
No, I wasn't. You were concerned.
Okay. So you're gonna pretend like we didn't hear that. All right. Well,
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I did not say that. I said I have not heard of any indication.
No. You got an email from the higher ups. You got an email from the higher ups, and they were talking about Trump cutting the funding for the tenants, and that could have impacted your job.
No, that's what I remember. I have not received any email saying that.
No, but you did get a notice about it possibly happening. Right?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so you're just going to pretend like that never happened. All right, so I see that you still got a lot of work to do. You've been asking to come up here. You've been asking to come up here every single day.
This is why.
And I don't get why.
So hold on, I'm going to explain why.
Because you know a lot of people
I have a question for you. Last night, did you make a video about Trump or this administration before you went to bed? Yes or no? Okay. Because I seem to recall there was a couple of days ago you said that you make a video about Trump every single night before you go to bed, and then you wake up and you do your show. So you live and breathe Donald Trump. I know why you have no strings, because the DNC hands it up your butt, and they're controlling your mouth.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? You got me, Tom. You figured Big Zeus out. All right. But unfortunately, no one buys it, because here's the thing. While you're so worried about that, and I think that's very disgusting, what has Donald Trump actually done that he promised he would do? And if you say anything other than nothing, you know what I'm going to do to you.
I didn't pay attention to what he promised to do. I know he said a lot of things. So, I mean, but all politicians say things when they're running for president.
So the answer is clearly nothing.
Okay.
So guess who has their hand up your rear end? Donald Trump. Donald Trump, because only somebody, only somebody that doesn't care about their life would accept somebody lying to them and making all kinds of promises.
People lie to me every day. You lie to everybody every day.
People lie to you every day. Give me an example.
Yes. Humans lie to other humans every single day about anything that they could possibly lie about.
Even members of your own family, you think they lie to you?
Yes.
Tom,
if you think people don't lie to you, you're an idiot.
So you're okay with, let's just say, if your significant other, you believe they're lying to you?
At certain times, there are certain things that people lie about. It's nothing.
So you believe your significant? So you
it could be a little thing. So what?
I mean, this to me just explains why you're supporting Donald Trump, because he's a liar.
I support him because he's not a Democrat.
No. But you are acknowledging if everyone lies, this means your significant other and Donald Trump are lying to you. I lie to my significant other too. You lie to your significant other.
I lie to my family. I lie to my kids. I lie to my wife. I lie to my boss. I lie to my tenants. I mean, they all lie to me.
You know, Tom, I think this is probably the one time that you honestly told the truth.
And I tell the truth every time I'm up here, Zeus.
And it's disturbing. So what I think I need to do is I got to move it on, because that's a lot to unpack.
Because you don't want to hear what I have to say, because you
it'll be a lie.
Come up here because you don't intimidate me.
And that's a lie too.
But see, I'm waiting for you to bring up your gang of followers, your cultists.
Ladies and gentlemen, we don't even need to explain why that is hellbound material. All right, we know exactly what it is.
Silence, you MAGA Dayton.
Wow. So we brag and we're proud of being liars. I don't have really any defense for that right there, other than, you know what? Honestly, you got to try to be a better person, because when you start walking around thinking everybody is lying to you, I mean, which way's up, which way's down? I mean, you have no credibility either. Yeah, I lie to everybody. Okay. But you don't intimidate me, Zeus. Well, I didn't say anything about intimidation, but the fact that you said I don't do that, I'm kind of thinking that you actually are intimidated by me, because you know what they say, every MAGA accusation is truly a MAGA confession. W. Zeus. Could you imagine dating? Could you imagine, ladies, dating a guy like that? Everybody's lying to me, and so I'm going to live a lie too, and it's get me before I get you type of season when I'm around. But you know what? Even the dog is asking, what? You heard the dog. I heard the dog. What? When he said that, I said, oh my gosh. All right, let's move on to the box, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move on to the box. Oh my gosh. I never thought I would hear things like that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I never thought I would. All right, let me bring up Q Dog. Good morning, Q Dog. How are you doing?
What's going on, bro? I just have to say in my Martin Lawrence voice, Tommy, you ain't got no job. What do you do, bro? We hear you on here every day walking your dog with the little chain. The dog got more of a job than you do. Man, I rarely go into lives, like I said, on Zeus, but I popped in a few blagger lives. Mm-hmm. And this is utterly ridiculous. The topic of the day is Carmelo Anthony.
Oh, they still on that?
They still on that. But you know what? What's so funny? And they demonizing. Okay, I don't condone, the outcome of what happened, but we don't know what happened. We don't know the history between that black boy and that white T boy.
Correct.
And his brothers.
Correct.
And he deserves the unalive penalty and he needs to go to prison for these are blaggers. These folks that know you.
Yeah. These are the folks during the Civil War. These are the folks during the Civil War sided with the Confederate, right?
But one thing that is really, really funny to me.
What's that?
We all know about the situation that took place at FSU just recently with the white T boy that came on campus and just started blam, blam, blam with his mother.
With her pew
pew, and she was either former or still law enforcement.
Yeah, she's law enforcement, I believe. Yeah.
It was her retired pew.
Yeah,
but ain't nobody saying nothing about it.
And they say he's on the right.
Oh yeah. And see, this is the thing, they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to say that. And I asked this one, I try to remember his name, but he know you very well. He's a big blagger. Soon as I started blasting him on his live, we don't want to talk about that. And then drop me. And before I got dropped, I asked him, I said, give me your points on the January 6th. Y'all want to talk about, unaliving, it's dead wrong. He was dead wrong. But y'all don't want to talk about these racist white T folks that's unaliving folks right and left. Y'all don't say nothing about that.
You know, you come to a point, Q-Dog, where you start to wonder, have these people sold their souls, and how much did they sell it for? I can't wrap my mind around, because even with, let's just say, Joe Biden, right? There's this book that's been released, all right, and it talks about, how Biden should have dropped out. Right. I'm open-minded enough to recognize, considering the information, Biden, he should have dropped out, and it hurts me to say that, bro. It really does.
Right.
But you have to always be able to go there if you are truly tapped in. And with these blagger, they've sold out. They've sold their souls. They cannot dig deep enough inside of themselves to admit that it doesn't make sense to be voting on the same side as the Triple K.
Exactly. That's my point. Exactly. And they always want to talk about why you got to bring race in. Why you got to bring race? But you are wearing a symbol, well, not a symbol, a statement that was originally created by the Triple K. But y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all, as soon as we bring up race or call you racist or this, that, and the other, and that's including you too, blagger. Y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all want to deflect from that. Oh, no. You want to drop us from the lives. You want to mute us. You don't want to say nothing about it. Because you know deep down inside that you wrong as hell. You're wrong.
Yeah.
Right is right and wrong is wrong. Just like the situation with Carmelo, wrong is wrong on both sides. Don't labelize one section of the situation because, he was never set up in the system for being pronounced a thug, being in the streets, or anything like that. This kid was in high school. He made a wrong choice.
Correct.
But let him get his day in court. Let them decide. Y'all on here like y'all fake lawyers and judges condemning somebody. You know what God said?
What's that?
Judge not, yet ye be judged.
And God's judgment is on MAGA right now because everything they've accused others of doing, it's literally happening to them, and they have no answers. None
whatsoever. They're assuming. And you know what they say about someone who's assuming? They make a you-know-what out of themselves.
Amen.
Stop doing this. And then y'all want to come on our platform and then talk bad about us. Why do you keep coming back every day? It's got to be something in the conversation that keeps you coming back, like Tank Top Tim, whatever his name.
Yep. Get a little kibble every morning. We know
that boy is not working because at the beginning he would chime up his video to show itself in them little small tank tops that he gets from Walmart at his desk. But we ain't seen that in months.
We can't even get him in the house no more.
What time do you go to work?
Every time Zeus goes live, he goes to work. That's kind of odd.
I'm just curious. You walking your dog every day. How much walking do you do and you still the same size? We know you're not working, bro. Just be real with it. You got more time on your hand to try to troll Zeus, try to find out what he's putting on his page. This is the man's page. You worry about your page. See, that was the problem with that boy Austin. He didn't mind his business.
You know, they get a little curious when they see, brothers doing stuff out here. You know how that go, right? Let me go peek out the window and going over there.
Business. You that person in a horror movie that say, I want to be friends with the monster. Oh, Mr. Monster, what you doing over there in the corner? Can I shake your hand? Mind your business.
Thank you.
That's the hardest thing that these folks out here don't know how to do is mind their business. Stay in your lane. Whatever somebody else doing, see, that's what gets you in trouble. That's what gets you in problems all the time.
That part. You gotta mind your business.
Stop it, it's gonna come to your doorstep, and then you're gonna say, woe is me. Why did you do that to me? No, stay in your lane. Mind your business. Stop worrying about what your neighbor and what the people down the street doing when your house ain't in order.
Or just follow the teachings of Jesus in the Bible, like you say. All right, you might not get into any trouble if you just obeyed those laws. You know what I'm talking about.
That's the other flip side of it, Zeus. This is what kills me, that they're so hypocritical. They want to talk about their followers of Jesus Christ, and they put biblical scriptures all over their page, and right below it, you got somebody that's a convicted felon. Right below it. How contradictory is that? But we all know what happened with Jesus over the weekend. We know that Barabbas was the one that was originally chosen by the crowd, and we know what Barabbas did.
Yep, he preaching to somebody over here. Somebody needed this truth this morning.
Y'all condemn a man that only wanted to heal and teach, but you take somebody that's been a convicted criminal, a rapist, and a smurderer. That's all Barabbas was.
And they put him on a pedestal and worship him. Smell that diaper. Oh, thank you, Trump. I love it.
I hear him saying, what happened to Jesus? Oh, you want to know what happened to Jesus? Oh, he came up with all power in his hands on the third day.
Amen. They fell for it. They thought they had you and you had them queued up.
Jesus? Yeah, you thought you had him in the ground. You thought you had that big stone that couldn't be moved.
Ooh.
He didn't have to touch that stone. Understand that.
Reach.
And if you don't realize what you're doing, you gonna be the one that's gonna be in that place. And you won't be able to move that
stone. Hallelujah.
I hope you understand and realize what ditch you're digging for yourself. You better read the word and listen to what's in the word and pay attention and get knowledge from the word. If you don't understand, ask somebody.
Thank you.
I don't know everything in the Bible, but I know enough to know what's right and what's wrong.
There you go.
And what y'all doing out here, even on this app, is wrong.
It's wrong. You know, you're spot on. I mean, I get it. We talk politics because I think that's the one thing we all kind of, it keeps us together. We understand it has an impact on us every single day. But the behavior, right? It's the behavior behind the person. And you just see it and you're going, I don't buy that you really are following, the teachings in this book. I don't buy it, because if you did, you would be ashamed of yourselves. All right. Honestly, not just for voting for this knucklehead, but also just your behavior in general. Yeah, it's bad behavior, Kabira. Yeah, WQ dog, go ahead.
Yeah, they know this.
Yep.
And see, God is all knowing. He knows what you're doing before you even do it. And you think just because, nobody may hear me or nobody may say anything to me or I'm going to do it on the sly. Okay. Keep doing that.
Yeah.
Keep doing what you're doing. And your days will be numbered. That's not my saying. That's the Lord saying.
Amen. Amen. All right. Well, listen, brother Q Dog, we didn't got some of that good truth out here. All right, brother. We're gonna try to move it on, and hopefully we can get some engaging discussions. Hopefully, there's someone out there that's listening to these words you're sharing, and they want to come up here and repent.
I hope so, brother. Because, like I said, and I got one more saying. When I was talking to that, and I had that happen. I happened to say, hey, brother, I'm talking to him as a brother. I'm not your brother. I said, listen here, hold on. We're two black men having a mutual conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we're not black men. This is a black man on a panel.
Lord have mercy.
Blagger. We're not black men. We're human beings. Oh, okay. So I tell you what, since you think we're human beings, how about you have a conversation in a Triple K meeting or a Proud Boys meeting? See how much of a human being they treat you as.
Lord, yeah, Lord.
Since you want to come at me as the enemy and as a person, see how that works out for you. Try to go to a sundown town. See how that works for you after dark.
Wow.
You better realize what's going on. You not on their timeline. You not the right complexion.
Nope.
And if you don't get that, it will soon come to pass. That boy that unalived his parents, that white T boy that unalived his parents, he didn't do it because he was a Trump supporter. He did it because he felt that if he had the opportunity to unalive the president or the vice president, it would create a race war. It's bigger than him. You got folks out here that's bigger, that their thought process is bigger than Trump or being a Trump supporter or wearing a MAGA hat. You better realize what's going on in these folks' mind. These folks ain't well. Mentally ill. And if you don't wake up, it's going to come to your community and your doorstep. And before you know it, you're going to be a person that's in the line of that unaliving, and you don't even know it. You an innocent bystander.
Oh my goodness. Tell him, Q Dog. All right, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, we could do this all day because when the truth starts flowing, honestly, it's like music to our ears. It's a breath of fresh air, Q Dog, honestly, to have you come up here and put it in perspective like that. All right. And we're going to continue to have to keep doing that because, you know, the good book says he or she who has ears to hear, let them hear. All right.
Right, brother. Tiny Tank Top Tim made a little comment, and that's all they do all day long. Fear mongering. You know who you need to fear. You better fear God.
Amen.
Fear his wrath, because right now you got him pissed off.
Tell him.
He tried to warn you 5 years ago. He tried to give you a warning to come to him 5 years ago, but you came for a second, then you're right back to the same old BS. So keep doing what you're doing. You better understand that you done pissed God off.
Hey.
He's gonna let you have your little show, and when it comes to a point where he's to the boiling point, we know what happened to the Red Sea. We know exactly what happened to the Red Sea. Yeah, I'm gonna open it up just for you think you're gonna get through. When you get halfway to the point you think you almost at the end to come after my people, when I told you let my people go,
Lord have mercy.
You might as well go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and close that C up.
All right, now moving it on. All right, bro, ladies and gentlemen, WQ Dog, Tiny Tank Top Tim. You keep getting roasted, but Q Dog is on to something. All right, you're not going to be able to deceive us. And this is not just Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom, but you're not going to be able to deceive us that you're not in need of help when it's written all over your face. It's written all over your profile, your spirit. We can see your spirit when you get in the box. It's showing. All right. And so what you really you do need to repent. All right. And that goes out to each and every single one of you Trump supporters. All right. Put a 1 in the chat if you are a Trump supporter, and I will bring you right on up here, all right? But you got to be willing to be open and honest with us over here on this side of town, all right? Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter, please. Tiny Tank Top Tim, what is it that you need to say? We've already spoken to you, and you already acknowledged that you're just going to lie, so I don't get why it's, what are you trying to get out of this, all right? Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter, and I'll bring you right on up here. All right. We don't have any Trump supporters. My goodness. Good morning, Val. How are you doing, brother?
Zeus, how's the kingdom doing this morning?
Oh, we're doing all right, especially now that you are here.
So you've got a few things today. You know, thinking over the weekend and not spending a whole lot of time on lives, just trying to get my thoughts together.
Yeah.
I thought about something. Zeus, the first part of the First Amendment is called the Establishment Clause, right?
Yeah.
Why do we have a president, true socialing out that we need to become more religious? The second part of the First Amendment is about freedom of speech. Speech against the government. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I know that's what's in there, but how can a president do his job if he has to follow those things? That's kind of the issue, right?
Yeah, but with the freedom of press and the freedom of speech, he's going after all the press agencies, right?
Yeah.
He's going after people that are speaking out against him.
Yeah.
Deporting them, whatever the case may be, without due process. But I digress to the Fifth Amendment.
Yeah.
So, and then we get to the, I've covered press. Then we get to, the regression of our government, protesting, which he's also talking against, right?
Yeah. He doesn't like it. He thinks the Constitution is his enemy.
So is the First Amendment still viable?
It should be.
This president doesn't think it is. I mean, he's pretty much destroyed the entire First Amendment. Not pretty much, has.
Yeah.
Okay, so, we go after the First Amendment. I don't understand why these people put up with this. These are the people that told us for years, that they're constitutionalists. But yet, as the president breaks all the parts of the Constitution, they want to sit here and go, oh, he's only been in office 80 days. He's the president of the United States.
It's too early, and then they call the judges. They say they're left-wing judges. Are all the judges that are stepping in and upholding the Constitution, are they all left judges?
No. Matter of fact, the judge that's going after Pam Bondi right now was put in by Ronald Reagan.
Oh, a real Republican. Wow. Ain't that something? Well,
These are the things that are going on today, and these people are watching it go by. These are the people that Friday and Saturday spent all day putting down Pope Francis. Remember that? Just a couple days ago.
Yeah. Because he wouldn't meet with JD, huh?
Because he wouldn't meet with JD Vance.
And then we saw what happened after he met with JD, huh?
Right.
I mean, I don't want to, believe in any conspiracies, but you can't ignore the timing.
Right. These things are a problem. You can have your own views on religion, but they're yours. You can have your own views on what you think about the government, but they're also yours. But quit coming out into spaces and going, you don't believe in freedom of speech, when you don't even understand what freedom of speech is.
Thank you.
Freedom of speech is to protect you from the government. Listen to what I'm saying. The government. It does not stop any reaction that happens to your speech when you're out on the streets. Your consequences for your speech are your own. Unless it's with the government. Then you're protected.
Yeah.
Other than that, that's it. It's that simple. I don't know why y'all insist on doing this. I don't know why you keep saying people mute you and you get shut down and you want to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I don't, you get shut down and you want to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I don't,
they love to play the victim.
Consequence to the speech that you're throwing out. People don't want to hear it. They can shut their ears. Hello, welcome. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to the USA.
Yeah. Do you think that these people going to the town halls and speaking up against Trump and Elon, do you think all of those people are actually Democrats and paid
they're
by
not
the
Democrats.
DNC?
The guy the other day is a proven Republican. He's truly upset about what's happening to him and his family and his farm.
Yeah.
Okay, these are real things that are going on in America that y'all want to turn a blind eye to without understanding that if the Constitution gets broke for any of us that it protects, it is now broken for all of us.
Wow. And they don't seem to get that, especially with this. I hate to do it, but we got to talk a little bit about it. The Kilmar Garcia situation. Right. They're trying to make it seem like it's about us defending a terrible person, and they're ignoring what you just said in terms about a violation of the Constitution. So could you connect the dots for MAGA
it's
in
not
your
about
way?
the man. It's about what is being done and how the man was treated versus our Constitution.
That part.
We have a Fourth Amendment. We have a Fifth Amendment. We have a First Amendment that protects you. We have a 14th that protects you. And it protects aliens in this country as well, like it or not.
Oh, well, that part, why should they have any protections, Val? I mean, I'm a Christian, but honestly, why should I have to treat these people like they, with dignity or anything like that?
Dignity's your own choice. You know what I'm saying? How you treat somebody is your own choice. How the Constitution treats everybody that has a foot in this country right now is written word. Okay? That is the law of the land. You don't have to like the law of the land. That's your right. But it still exists, and it does not care about your feelings. Ignorance of the law is your fault.
That part. Wake up. Blaze of Glory, I see you. You're begging for help when you spam my chat like that. If Val is saying something and it's causing you discomfort, if I'm saying something it's probably a good thing. Because we're activating that demon inside of you, and hopefully it'll wake up and leave you.
That's, you know what I'm saying? These are the things that are going on today. When we say it's a constitutional crisis, this is what we're talking about. Like he was talking about the man, you know what I'm saying? The man in the El Salvadoran prison. It's not just him. Okay? We now know that 90% of the people there, to date, that we can get information on, have no record. Wow. No criminal record.
I thought they were only going to get the bad ones.
Right. 0 criminal records. These are people, you know what I'm saying, that just came out. One's a soccer player. We don't talk about him enough. He's a soccer player, left his country.
Ain't that something?
Got taken away for, you know what I'm saying, for having supposed, T group markings on his neck. It was a soccer ball and a heart. These are the things that are going on. This is a man that had status here and was doing it the right way.
The hairdresser.
There's several of these people that were doing it the right way. We have people wearing masks, ripping 12-year-old girls out of cars.
Wow. You notice they don't ever talk about the women that these guys are, detaining and sending somewhere in America. God knows where these women are at. Where are the women at that they're doing this to? You notice that they got real quiet about them?
Well, we do know where the women and children are. If if anybody takes time, they're at the prison in Florida. The one that's so overcrowded, people are unaliving because they can't even get a drink of water.
Wow.
That one? Yeah, that's happening in and on.
But they protect women, right? These are the people that love to protect women and children.
Yeah, they're protecting no one. 12-year-old child ripped out of a car by people in masks.
Wow.
Who are these people?
These people, and believe it or not, they profess to be Christians, and they profess that they protect women and children. This is what they openly say on the app. But when the lights go dark and they are out there behaving with other demons, they do the exact opposite.
Right. These are the things that actually upset real Americans. Okay, things that are going on right now. If you want to know why we're mad, why we believe we're in a constitutional crisis, I don't care about any of your other issues. I don't care about the past, just like Zeus says. I'm not relitigating the past. Okay? I'm looking at what's happening right now in this country based on our Constitution with a man in office.
Yeah.
There's a couple old sayings. If I can make you believe in niceties, I can make you commit atrocities. Okay, I want you to think about that.
Let that sink in, MAGA. Let that sink in.
These are the things that we have to stop in this country. I don't care what you think about this man. I don't care if you back him or not. Even if you back him, you should be out very vocal about these are the things that cannot happen. Breaking our Constitution cannot happen. If you're for breaking the Constitution in this country, Pay attention to what he told you years ago that Zeus plays all the time. You can leave.
Thank you. Just leave the United States. Would you have a problem, Val, if let's just say this guy in the chat, Blaze of Glory, would you have a problem if he decided to go to Russia or Pyongyang?
It's his choice. Make your choice. If you don't want to live under a constitutional republic, as you all like to call it, without even understanding what republic means. Okay? If you want to live under a constitutional republic, this is where you need to stay. But you need to understand that's governed by a democracy set up in the articles of our Constitution.
Yeah.
Y'all can argue about this until you're blue in the face and make stupid comments all day long. The republic is the people.
W. Marissa. Tell him, Val. Well, listen, brother. We're going to move it along. But, if we get somebody up here willing to have this heartfelt conversation based on facts, I'm definitely going to have to bring you back up. All right, my good friend?
You know where I'll be.
Yeah, all right, ladies and gentlemen. W. Val in the chat. No lies. Detective W. Tara. Show him some love. These people come on the show and they volunteer their time because they love the country like I do. So, when you all, support the platform, it means a lot. Seriously. All right. Because we got to keep this thing going. Seriously. All right. Let's move it along. All righty then. All right. Who do we got next, ladies and gentlemen? All right. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter. All right, and I'll bring you up real quick. It's been quite a show this morning. And I must be right in terms of Trump losing support. They say 1.5 million people they stop supporting Trump per week. All right, and so we're on to something, ladies and gentlemen. Who do we got? Brokeback Bob. Brokeback Bob. What brings you back? I feel like I've spoken with you before. I don't know if this is you're just joking or this is a real.
Nah, this is a real deal, man. This is real.
We spoke before?
Oh, hell yeah, we did. Yeah, you didn't like me. But tell you what, I'm on Snuggy's side.
Okay, but here's the thing, though, honestly. There has to be a point where you say, country first. And
yeah, we did that.
And I don't understand why you can't bring yourself to at least say, you know what, I like Snuggy. I mean, I wouldn't say that, but let's just say that it's true. You can only support Snuggy up until a certain point before you end up, sabotaging yourself.
Nah.
Think about it. Think about what I'm saying to you.
Well, what I'm thinking about is he battles you all the time. You guys get along. But I tell you what, I see through all this bullshit.
Well, listen, you got to keep it clean. Okay, because you got my mom listening to the show, and I don't like all that profanity, and I don't like having to explain why I let it on my show.
Well, it's not against the guidelines.
But you can follow rules. That's not too difficult.
You didn't set your rules.
I did actually.
I was going by TikTok guidelines.
No, okay. So listen, Brokeback Bob. Yeah. I understand this is more of you need more of my entry level training program, right? This is a little bit on the advanced side, all right? So what I think I'll do is I'm going to let you go back into the chat so I can continue to teach you a little bit, all right?
I figured all Democrats let me down right away because they don't like it.
No, so. because you can't show up to practice. Listen,
I will wear it as a badge of honor, you coward.
Okay, all right. Well, listen, if that's all it takes, then Brokeback Bob. Enjoy that first class trip that you earned and you consider it a badge of honor. Enjoy it, all right, because it's going to burn.
Silence, you MAGA Dayton.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, look at where we're at right now as a country. My platform, I open it up to anybody that actually has an opinion, whether I agree with you or not. I open it up because ultimately what we're here to do is to try to get information and education out there and make it an engaging show. And then when we deal with people who have opposing opinions, what we like to do is challenge them to actually start to think beyond what they've been thinking in order to expand their horizons. And so where we're at right now is this. Donald Trump has started a trade war with the entire globe, which is turning into more inflation that he promised he would get rid of. He's not delivering on any of his campaign promises at all. He has the Secretary of Defense embattled in leaking classified information through an app called Signal on his personal phone while flying his wife all over the planet at taxpayers' expenses. All right. And while all of this is going on, grocery prices are going up, egg prices are going up, gas prices are going up. Donald Trump is governing through the executive branch using executive orders and Truth Social. Donald Trump thinks he can run a country through executive orders and Truth Social without any problems. And while all of this is happening, you would think these Trump supporters that come onto this show every day, right? And they listen to what we're saying, they hear what we're talking about, they screen record what we're doing. You would think they would be able to come into the box and really bring something to bring something to us to help us feel like, you know what, all these concerns, they shouldn't even be there because, you know, this and that's going to happen. We got it all under control. You can't give Americans any type of reassurance, MAGA, that this makes sense. That's where you're at right now. You know it. The world knows it. The Pope knows it. That none of this makes sense. So what do? You get in the box and you start trying to play identity politics. And you think that between identity politics and lies, that all of these problems are going to disappear. All right. And I'll give you an example of this. So, we know what's going on with Pete Hegseth, and you found it on X. The Democrats, their Twitter account or X account, they say Pete Hegseth needs to go, and Pete Hegseth, while all of this is going on, and he's not getting on camera, he says your agenda is illegals, trans, and DEI, all of which are no longer allowed at the DOD. As if that's some sort of flex. Let me make it real clear to you, Trump supporters. All those issues, and they can be valid issues, none of that is going to allow Pete Hegseth to escape accountability for leaking classified information. You could bring up as many things that Biden did as you want. It's not going to change how Americans feel right now. We can't understand how this guy right here, who you all know has an alcohol problem, who you all know is unqualified to be in the position, how are you all sitting back watching him share our national secrets all willy-nilly and flying his wife around and think that we're going to fall for this DEI trans nonsense that you guys keep trying to spin? It's not going to work. So, to the last guest who got in my box, honestly, all kidding aside, you got to start really opening your eyes and stop playing around right now. There are serious consequences, all right, for incompetent people being in high places, and you're seeing it unfold right now, all right? You can try to relitigate the past with us. You know what? You might actually know history a little bit better than us. But think of it like this. We're in a car and we're driving. If you're driving, ladies and gentlemen, which way should you be facing? Should you be driving and looking back? Or should you be driving with your eyes on the road? I just got to ask. So when you get in my box and you start trying to make me turn my head around and look back at what was going on while we're moving 110 miles an hour towards a wall, obviously I'm going to say, you know what? You need to either get out of this car or you need to sit down and buckle up because you don't know what the heck you're talking about. W Zeus in the chat. Where are all the so-called patriots at? The ones that love this country. Where are you at right now? Watching Donald Trump destroy this country. When this is all said and done, ladies and gentlemen, every single one of us are going to have to take account to what we were doing when this entire situation, this experiment that we call America, I don't know if we'll make it through the full 4 years, but in the event we don't, every single one of us are going to have to take account in terms of what we were doing while this entire thing was crashing down. All right. You either are complicit or you're out here trying to make a difference. And I mean that in a respectful way. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring up our next panelist. Good morning, Takesha. How are you doing? So clearly MAGA doesn't want to get on this show today, which is fine. We got a lot of Democrat voices to hear from, so we'll do it that way. Hi, Takesha.
Hey, Zeus. How are you?
I'm all right. Just, tending to the affairs. Did you have a great weekend?
I was blessed all weekend long, Zeus.
Thank you. Thank you.
I wasn't going to come up, but I wanted to address something. Val said that the chief center said that we should be more religious. And that's the problem. You got too many religious people and not enough saved people. The Pharisees, they were religious.
Yep.
Judas was religious. And they took the time to set Jesus up and unalive him. So we don't need religious people. We need saved saints of God. You know what I'm saying? So that's why Donald Trump said we need religion. Because he's religious while he's asleep. And then when he's awake, he's the devil himself in a suit. Now, while we were celebrating yesterday, and I don't want to hear nobody talk about a pagan holiday, because the Bible says everything you do it as unto the Lord. So yesterday, while we were celebrating the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, he was on True Social with an Easter message full of hate. You could have kept that.
Yeah.
You on there talking about the Democrats. You on there talking about the judges. You on there talking about Joe Biden on a day that the greatest act of love was shown. You were spreading hate. Donald Trump's heart is darker than the blackest complexion skin person I know.
Hey, man. Hit him with it, Takesha. When you're right, you're right.
There is nothing that shows Christ in Donald Trump. And I think it's very sad that the very people that swear they followers of Christ can't see this, Zeus. The man spreads nothing but pure, unadulterated hate.
She ain't lying.
Now look at what Pete Hegseth did.
The keg's breath.
Just like, I got so tickled when you called him, dang, it was the last word I was going to tell you.
Oh.
You described him.
Whiskey leaks.
Whiskey leaks.
Yeah.
Zeus, I was so tickled over here when you said whiskey leaks. But listen.
Yeah, but that's what they call him now. I mean, because this is what he do. He gets loaded late at night, gets a little lonely, and starts cycling through them apps. Oh, Signal's a good app, and then he just... Let me see what I can get. You know how that goes down.
That whiskey leaks like it took me out. That was so funny to me. But listen, I told y'all when y'all read that scripture about how the Lord was going to put people that didn't have good sense, common sense, who didn't know what they was doing over the people. Y'all see the scriptures are coming to pass.
Yeah.
It's walking down every day, Zeus.
Yep.
Everything that scripture said is happening every day, Zeus. And I'm sitting back with my leg crossed.
Yeah.
Country Time lemonade in hand, laughing, Zeus.
Yeah.
This administration is a total joke, and the leader of it is a total joke. They all need to get on their knees. They need to repent. They need to ask the Lord for forgiveness. They need to try to get saved. And maybe things will turn around, Zeus. But what ain't going to turn around is the act of the devil that they doing.
Amen. No lies being detected. I mean, the way you're breaking it down, there's no reason these folks can't pick it up. I don't understand how they continue to hold on to this idea that Donald Trump is somehow the greatest thing since sliced bread. I don't get it.
Zeus, ain't nothing great about Donald Trump. When I say nothing at all. The only thing great about Donald Trump is the way he done fooled these people. Now, he was great at that. He was great at being a master manipulator. He was great at being a cult leader. He is great at being, the Bible says he's going to fool the very elect of them.
Yeah.
And that's what he doing. He fooling people that think they smart, and he fooling the ones that are not. And I think it's really sad how it's going, but I'm laughing. Because at the end of the day, Donald Trump got to face the same God we got to face, Zeus. And before he leave here, he gonna face his destruction.
Amen. Amen. Is there going to be any type of, the Bible talks about reaping what you sow, right? What about the people who, in the face of all of the wickedness that they see this man doing, right, still get behind him? What message can we give those folks out here? Because they seem to...
The message I'm going to get on folks is the Bible said that hell enlarges itself every day. That means more people and more people. It's enlarging itself because more of y'all jumping right on in the lake of fire with the devil. And that's why hell is enlarging itself. It didn't say that narrow road was getting wider, but that wide road is getting wider because a lot of people are following a lot of people straight to hell.
Yeah. That's crazy, but it's true. And but you know what? When they get there, they can't say they didn't know, right?
Well, Jews people been telling them. And if they say they Christians, the word tell them. But see, they ain't read no words. I wish I could go to a meeting in Congress and they just let me say what I want to say in there.
Yeah.
When I got through Zeus, they'll be trying to find a swimming pool to jump in so they can get baptized. Because I'll read every last one of them down to the last drop.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. W to Keisha. See, this is what we're talking about. And you're not paid by the DNC to do this either, are
Zeus,
you?
If I was paid by the DNC, I'd be writing sex right now, getting that $3,500. Look, Zeus, I'd be in sex right now, getting that $3,500 Louis Vuittons I've been wanting.
Hey.
So no, I ain't getting paid by the DNC.
Hit them with it. Hit them with it. Hit them with it. See, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I'm talking about. When you love the country like this is easy to do. All right, then.
All right, my friend. Thank y'all for the gifts.
All righty then, ladies and gentlemen. Show Takesha some love once again. W's in the chat. No lies. Detected. All righty then. All right, let's move it along, ladies and gentlemen. Put a 1 in the chat if you are a Trump supporter. All right, if we got any out there. I think we've laid it down so well this morning. I don't think MAGA has the energy. I don't think they have the confidence to actually try to get out here and try to defend the indefensible. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter, and I will bring you right on up here. All right, but you got to be willing to be open, honest, and transparent with the American people. Cindy, you put a 0. Oh, who put thank you, Trump? Oh, okay. Curse potato. You're just a potato? Might be interesting. Who knows? Let's see. Do we have any more Trump supporters? Please put a 1 in the chat. And I'll bring you right on up here. You said there's not that many. I mean, because think about it, right? Imagine you voted for Donald Trump 3 times. And the first time, okay, fine. You wanted Donald Trump and you believed in him. I'll give you that. The second time, all right, absent of the January 6th attack, right, you had enough information to say, you know what, I don't think he's really going to be good at this because he did get impeached, all right, and then, the mismanagement of C-19 and things like that and just the hatred that he brings, you had enough to not do it. But then the third time you voted for him, that means you willfully ignored all the warning signs and you voted for Donald Trump, right? And now look at what's going on. Not even 100 days in, you have this huge mess. The economy is in shambles, right? Whether you want to say it's true or not, the economy is in shambles. China doesn't even want to do business with us anymore. They said, you know what? We're not even going to play the trade war. We're not going to do the tariffs. After they get to the 145%, we're just done with the United States. And they moved on to something else. Oh, Phil. Oh, okay, Phil, you're with Trump. Come on up here, Phil. Send me a guest request. Send me a guest request. I can't invite you, Phil. But so Phil, this is what I wanted to make sure you and I understand. No matter what you say, the facts are he's not doing a good job when it comes to dealing with the economy. No one believes you. Okay, let's move it along, ladies and gentlemen. All right, who do we have next? All right, Phil, you're not coming up, I guess. I guess you thought about it, Phil? Let's see. Who do we have? Let's see. Who do we have? Let's see. Lynn Torres. Good morning. How are you? Lynn, are you there? I think the connection isn't going through. All right, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Moving it along. Who do we got next? Oh my goodness. All right. Blue Moon, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm all right. How can I help you? Long time no see.
Oh, yeah, it's been a while. But I just want to remind everyone that, so I come from the place where Trump derangement syndrome came from.
Oh, where is that?
Minnesota.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know that. I know they got a law out there, right? They're trying to do that law.
Yeah, the same day he tried to push that, he was trying to essay a child and was arrested by the Bloomington Police Department here.
Good. Wow.
And I've called them twice to tell them thank you so much. And he kind of got choked. I'm going to get choked up saying it, but he kind of got choked up when I called because he said, we don't hear that a lot. And I said, well, you kind of brought it on yourself, but I just want to say thank you so much for doing that.
Who?
Maybe? The police department.
Oh, okay. I got it.
They kind of do. Not even kind of. I mean, they do.
Yeah.
And that's why, and I just wanted to give them credit when they deserve it,
Yeah. Let's go ahead and give them credit. So they got a real monster off the streets.
Yeah. And I also want to remind people that there are over 20 January 6ers that have now been charged with doing inappropriate things with children.
20?
Over 20. So we've got to take care of our kids, you guys.
Yeah.
So that's all I wanted to say. I wanted to remind people that this is really bad, and the trafficking and everything like that, it's going on.
Yeah.
And that's where I assume that is why it was so important to let Ross Ulbricht out right away. Because that's what he was good at. He was good at trafficking and he was good at dealing.
Wow.
And
Trump let these people out.
Yep. He was one of the first people to that was one of the first things he did was release Ross Ulbricht. And that is what he specialized in. And these people are all related to Teal, to Navarro, to Yarvin. They're all related in some way. Okay? And so it's a big rabbit hole. This has been going down for a long, long time. And as we watch his numbers drop, what we don't want to face is that the nationalists are gaining momentum. And that's the truth. And I hate saying that, but that is the truth.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I guess I just wanted to come up here. I didn't mean to cry like that.
No, it's totally, I understand. This is, to me, it's very, very, it's emotional. It's sensitive, right? It hits close to home in more ways than most people want to admit. So I don't have any problem with that. I mean, but I think it's good that you're also increasingly awareness, because I do run into a lot of people who profess that they are Christians and that they protect children. But then you also have to ask yourself, well, if those are your beliefs and those are your values, how are you supporting a person that is the exact opposite of that, right? And actually putting more people out here that are the exact opposite of that as well. It's like they don't see themselves in that group of people.
It's like that that thou doth protest too much. It kind of goes to that when you're screaming more babies. Well, why? Why? Why do you want more babies? Now you don't want to feed them. You know, why do you want them without money? You want access to them? Really? Why do you want the Panama Canal? Why do you want Gaza? Because that's all we see are orphan kids. Wow. Okay. So when they're doing the same thing here in America, pay attention, because CPS, they are above law enforcement. And now apparently we're seeing that ICE is above law enforcement and they're above judges as well. So the due process isn't even working.
Wow.
In Florida, that young man was an American citizen. Is an American citizen.
Yep.
And due process didn't work. So can you say we are fucked?
Oh, keep it clean, but we got to keep it clean.
I'm sorry.
But you're right. You're right.
I didn't mean to say that.
That's fine. That's fine. Don't worry. We're doing good. Let's keep on going though. You're
Okay,
getting to
so-
somebody, please.
It just really, that scares me to death, because it is the wild, wild west right now. And these are unprecedented situations. And I say unprecedented, yes, have we been going through stuff for forever? Yes, absolutely. But back then we had muskets.
Yeah.
Now we have the dark web. Now we have whiskey leaks. Now we have things happening where, you know, and I made it known that, I mean, that in just going to Ukraine, while they were being under attack, they were using the satellite system. How is this not a conflict of interest? The satellite system they were using is owned by Elon Musk. So every time these soldiers are out there in Ukraine and they use that signal, it's giving Russia information of their location.
Wow. So they're feeding it.
You sick to your stomach. And also a quick reminder.
Yeah.
Like, people just think that if the orange guy is gone, I don't know how much that's going to matter, because people still think Elvis is still alive. They're going to think that we have got... I am serious.
Lord have mercy. You're right.
They're going to think that we've got that orange guy in our basement. God knows what's going to happen.
Lord
and this will not end. This will not end. And there are still people that think that David Koresh is the Messiah.
Oh my God. You know what, Blue Moon? You tapped into something this morning that I wasn't prepared to deal with, but
I'm sorry.
In light of that reality, you know what? I gotta say, after a certain while, I'm out too. These folks gotta just go ahead and peacefully cross over into the afterlife, all right? Because there's nothing we can do.
No, there isn't. I mean, I think we passed that point, and people are thinking, oh, well, when, you know, if he's gone, then, you know, people won't really watch Vance. By that time, if we haven't already hit it, we might already be locked somewhere in a place where it doesn't matter who comes to the light and sees the light.
Right.
Because these doors are closing every day. Every day we lose more rights.
Yep. Well, you know what? Well, you know what? As you bring that knowledge to the forefront in the kingdom this morning, I think it's a clarion call for each and every single one of us to recognize how important it is for us to continue to get out here and get the truth to as many ears that are willing to hear it. Because despite those things, I don't think we should surrender this great country of ours to MAGA. What about you?
I can't.
Thank you. All right. Listen, thank you.
I can't.
Thank you. All right. Listen, thank you.
I will not.
Thank you.
I will not. And I also want to point out that if you go to where the unaliving was of Floyd.
Yeah.
It is not just a memorial for Floyd, but you will go out there and see there are probably 15 other men and women that have been unalived by police right there.
Wow.
It's not just a memorial for him. It's for so many.
Yeah. Tell them.
It's true. I have pictures of it. I've seen them all.
Wow. Well, listen, Blue Moon, I just got to say thank you so much for taking time this morning to come up here and share that with all of us, all right? Because it needs to be out there. People need to understand what's at risk right now with this knucklehead in office and his minion of nasty, evil, corrupt individuals who are hell-bent on destroying this great country of ours, all right?
Thank you so much for letting me up, and you have a great day, okay?
No problem. You too, ladies and gentlemen. W Blue Moon in the chat. No lies detected. See, ladies and gentlemen, this is so easy. When the truth is in you, it's not that difficult to just get up here and tell the truth and shame the devil. But I do see that MAGA is sitting here and they're sitting on their hands right now and they're bidding their time right now because they know they are in deep trouble. They know that they have violated the Constitution in every way possible and that nobody, and I mean this, nobody is on their side anymore. And so to the Trump supporters that are still sitting here and they think that the Democrats are somehow the problem and you don't like the way that I'm running this live, do me a huge favor.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
W, Ann. Thank you, Ann. Yeah, I do not buy that MAGA represents the values of most people in America. I don't buy that because MAGA has no values now that I think about it. All right. Animals actually have better values than MAGA when you really drill down on it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move it along. All right. Who do we have next? All right. Oh my goodness. Who do I have next? Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see. Who do we have? Sister Town 1. Good morning. How are you? Sister Town 1, are you there?
Hey, yeah. Go ahead and call me later.
Oh, okay. I think that was an accident. Ladies and gentlemen. Oops, I got rid of the wrong account. Whoa. Oh, my God. Let's move it along, ladies and gentlemen. I dropped my own account. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Who do we have next? Yeah, I actually dropped my own account. All right. Good morning, Q2. Good morning, Cute2. Are you there?
Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't mean to come up. I just listen to your live every day.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. All right. I appreciate the support. All right. See, it could just be, I accidentally sent a request and then that happened. All right. I get it. DeWand Hall, good morning. How are you doing? It's been pretty much most contributions this morning have came from the Democrats this morning so far, so that's pretty impressive. All right. It looks like we're having a problem with the connection. All righty then. Let me bring up my good friend G-Man. Come on up here, G-Man.
Hey. Good morning, baby Monday, man.
Hey, how are you?
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right.
I'm doing good. Okay, the first part of your show, you showed about the hypocrisy.
Yeah.
About you made an audio that Trump accusing Hillary.
Yeah. Getting on Hillary situation. About the email. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, the stock market is down 1,000 points. This is crazy.
Wow. Damn. Excuse my language.
I've never seen this before.
But yeah, it's what about my train of thought is clear. But listen up, that guy is charged with the Secretary of Defense. He should not be qualified, dude. As a veteran, mind-boggling. Trump like somebody. Yes, it doesn't matter. He's not. They're not qualified. You want to bring like the good old boy system, like in the past,
Yeah,
there's a lot more people more qualified than this. pendejo.
Draft dodger. You call him a draft dodger.
Well, I served both regular Army and the National Guard too, just as well. So it's leaking our secrets to his family members. And I think somebody said that he was doing the chuckle of that, that whiskey leaks. Yeah, something like that.
Whiskey leaks. Yeah,
our sensitive information. Thank you too, people. But he should be gone and hopefully replace somebody that's more qualified. But we all know about Trump's going to be. He find another yes sir, replace him.
Yeah.
What happened in Tallahassee, Florida? Two incidents.
Speak on it.
Because it's a little bit too close to home for me.
Yeah.
People do not know me. I'm Puerto Rican. Yes, U.S. citizen. It doesn't matter with these racist Billy Bobs and Becky's because they generalize all the fucking same. And this dude was born and raised in Georgia. Just because he look like a Latino, probably think assuming he here on document on it.
Yeah.
You violate your civil rights in Tallahassee. Mama brought the birth certificate. He looked like he don't care. Talking about the backlash and let him go. But guess what happened there too, people?
What's that?
That's what happened that time. A Billy Bob nutted up and use a pew pew in Florida State University.
Yep.
Now I'm gonna address this because remember what happened this past summer with the young lady was on live, or the perpetrator was a document.
Yeah. Laken Riley. They say Laken Riley.
And any perpetrator, it doesn't matter what they do, the crime, do the time, I don't care. But they passed the law in Georgia, Eastern Profile, somebody look like me.
Yeah.
Assuming that, these Billy Bobs. Why they in the freaking energy to pass a bill similar to your fragile Billy Bobs sure had no asset, ain't the pew pews because they're unstable, or because you messed up in your life, you want to, do something tragic. Profile your Billy Bobs the same energy as well. That's the frustration I get.
Yeah.
And this is the frustration I get. Zeus.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm still gonna be me. I still gotta watch my surroundings even more because I live in Columbus, Georgia.
Yeah.
And a bunch of Trump supporters here, gym, work, and all this.
Yeah.
I gotta be careful that somebody might assuming that because I talk back to them, they gotta call ICE on me because I'm here on document. I don't can stand on my ground. I'm a veteran, man. I know how to show nobody no freaking by birth certificate.
Thank you, WG, man. We're not going to surrender, but we know that these people are weaponizing the government to go after Americans. And I'm glad that you brought that up, G-Man. How do you feel, MAGA, knowing that ICE is going after American citizens?
And this is directed to Snuggie. You claim to be a Latino, Hispanic, right? Don't see what happened to that guy in Tallahassee. Don't think it's going to come to you, bro. Don't think it's going to happen to you, bro. You don't think you'll accept me. It will be. It will be. Don't be surprised that somebody knock on your freaking door and ICE come assuming somebody snitch on you, assuming you hear a document. Even if you're sipping for the somebody, also a former New Yorker like myself, doesn't care about you. But Zeus, I know you got a lot of things to do. I was watching live on Friday.
Thank you, brother.
The passionate.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate
Nutty,
you. Serious.
Shout out to Nutty and Shay. All the knowledge and information they provided on this, and Lex and all that, I appreciate it. I learned a lot of stuff for you.
Yeah.
I hope you learned it from me. I'm gonna tell you, MAGA, if he pushed that tariff on it, even though I work manufacturing, it's gonna mess up with my livelihood because yes, we make stuff here. This is not like back in the 80s and the 70s when I was a youngster, prior to my military days. We like some raw materials overseas just as well here. So he pushing our tariff. He's going to do two things with my job. He's going to increase the price of the consumer.
Yep.
Or he's not trying to keep it there. He's going to reduce head count of labor force. One of the two.
Wow.
So,
and both of those are bad for Americans, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Breakfast is bad American. You make America great again. He isolate this country. And I think Putin is pulling strings. This is my opinion. TikTok for educational purposes. This is my opinion. Our adversaries pulling strings to him, let Trump tell them what to do to make this kind of global power of this country. If you claim to be a patriot, you should be more concerning. Besides, somebody should have access, have a social security number and data. You should be concerned just as well. But Zeus, I'm gonna let you go, man. You're a busy man. I thank you for letting me invite me.
No problem.
Regardless of what other people, you should be concerned with what's going on with this country. If you claim to be a patriot, regardless of your Republican, independent like myself, and a Democrat like the the host right here. I admire you, my young man, because you gave it you handle your business and you got a lot of better patience than me.
I try.
Also, thank you. There's a lot of people that follow me because of you. So thank you for your time. Everybody have a marvelous Monday.
All right.
I always say stay too strong. Stay too strong. It's my two models. Life is too short. And peace, everybody. Have a blessed day, man.
All right. WG man. WG man, ladies and gentlemen. No lies detected. Well, listen up, ladies and gentlemen. G-Man was right about this. Zeus has other affairs to tend to, and I got to get up out of here, all right? But W to all of you, the chat especially, and thank you to all of the subscribers, gifters, moderators, and panelists. Without you, this show wouldn't be as entertaining, educational, and engaging as it is, all right? And yes, the stock market, ladies and gentlemen, is officially... it's cooked. It's in the toilet, and MAGA has no one to blame. But guess who? Donald J. Trump. W. Terra. So keep up the good work of getting the information and knowledge out there, and don't let these Trump supporters take you down memory lane. We don't care about that. I don't care about what they're going to do with Letitia James. Letitia James already came out and said that's a bunch of nonsense that they're trying to do. I don't care about all the identity politics. I don't care about that. I care about the egg prices, the grocery prices, the credit card interest being capped at 10%, getting credit for buying a new car, right? I care about the economy, all right? I care about our national security, all right? I care about educating the next generation and helping to really make sure we're prepared for the future. All this other secondary stuff actually is not even secondary. It's totally a waste of time. All right. And so one last thing, I got to give the Zeus haters, and they know exactly who they are. We got to give them one last round of booze and shame. And you're a Zeus hater because when you wake up every morning, all you can think about is Zeus and the Democrats. How, even though you claim you're winning, you're not winning. You're losing, all right? And your 401ks are a reflection of the fact that you're losing. The grocery prices, they're a reflection of the fact that you're losing. Your business that you're running, think about it. You're about to be bankrupt because you're not going to have any more customers. Yeah, and guess who's going to be the reason for that? Oh, yes, your dear leader, Donald J. Trump. You're Zeus haters because you hate the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, let's send them to hell one last time. All right.
Silence, you MAGA Dayton.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, take care and stay safe out here in these TikTok streets. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do. I gotta get out of here. What a great show. Good morning, yes. Have a great rest of your morning. Oh, we got out of here on time, ladies and gentlemen. W on it today. Hey. You gotta be able to connect those dots. It's a shame the stock market started the week off like this. All right, so you know what that means. W and W Kabira, thank you. You don't have to, but you do it. All right, I appreciate that. You and I love Zeus. W's in the chat for Kabira. W's for chat. W for all of you. W everyone. Let's get some drill, baby, drill, and then we are out of here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we don't got all morning to do this. All right.
Kamala Harris's war.
And by the way, you should be able to now find Drill Baby Drill anywhere you access music, ladies and gentlemen. I believe it's been there, all right? So you all help make it possible. Just type in my artist name and you'll find it.
Because you know she's gonna go. She's a baby drill. Baby drill, baby drill, baby drill,
For these guys, we're gonna take out so much money.
Just type in 3 Crossing and you'll find it.
We're gonna lower your taxes to insane asylums.
Here it goes.
You know, they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal Lecter. Drill, baby, drill. We're gonna frack. Drill, there's a frack. There's a baby, there's a lots of big energy. You know she's gonna pay. You know she's gonna bang it. Right? Up in there, she wasn't just stepping against all the stuff and then all the stuff and then all the stuff and then all the stuff. Everybody here to have to go.
And what did she say, ladies? She said, I like fracking very much. Look, they always go back to what they want. They always go back. She can't help it. She's a radical.
Left long, she can't help it. But we're gonna end that.
And we will frack, and drill, baby, drill. Type 3 Crossing, drill, baby, drill. And it'll come up on YouTube, trust me, it's there. I've seen it. And I put it on my X account too. Alright, you can go find it there. But be careful when you listen to it, because you will go crazy. Drill, baby, drill, we're gonna frack. Yes, it's on Apple Music too. Be careful. I'm just going to tell you, if you play that, do it at your own risk, all right? Because it'll do something to you. Here it goes.
Insane asylums. You know, they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, imagine you're driving listening to this. They're going to think you're crazy.
Why would you mention Hannibal Lecter?
Why would you? We're going to lower your taxes. You found it on Pandora?
You know, they go crazy when I say
the late, great Hannibal. Y'all be careful out there listening to drill, baby, drill. Like I said, it'll do a number to you. Hey! Don't go too deep. Hey, like it's Hannibal Lecter time. Drill, baby, drill like it's Hannibal Lecter time. We're gonna lower your taxes. Deep insane asylums. You know they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. How much money do you owe? Oh, you got a lot of debt? Don't worry. We're going to lower your debt like you wouldn't believe, and then we're going to pay off all your taxes. All we got to do is drill, baby, drill like you wouldn't believe, because guess what? We got so much liquid gold underneath our feet, and all we got to do is frack in order to get it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Another one's done for the history books. Take care and stay safe out there in those TikTok streets. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do.